You ever stop and think about the strange paradox we're all living in? I mean, on one hand, we have more possibilities, more opportunities than any other time in human history. And yet, so many of us feel completely stuck, anxious, even pessimistic about what's coming next. So that's the big question, right? Why is there such a massive disconnect? Well, the wild part is, the answer isn't that we're not smart enough, it's that we've been trained to rely on the wrong kind of intelligence. And this right here, this really gets to the heart of the problem. Our modern world, our schools, our jobs, they all train us to focus on what's probable, to optimize things we already know, to find the one right answer. But that's not what our brains were built for. Our brains evolved over millennia to navigate pure possibility, to deal with total novelty, and to thrive in deep, deep uncertainty. It's kind of like we've been handed a perfect roadmap for a world where the roads haven't even been built yet. But what if there was another way? What if we could tap into that older, more fundamental toolkit that's already inside us? Well, that's where this idea of primal intelligence comes into play. It's the set of skills we evolved for exactly these moments, for when the map is useless and you have to find your own way. And look, I want to be clear, this isn't some kind of mystical woo-woo concept. Primal intelligence is a real, mechanical, and totally trainable set of cognitive skills. The best way to think about it is like this. It's our brain's original operating system, the one designed to function in a world that doesn't come with an instruction manual. So what's in this toolkit? Well, it boils down to these 5 core components. You've got intuition, imagination, judgment, resilience, and this really fascinating one called story thinking. These are the tools that let us act, create, and move forward, even when there are no guarantees. All right, so let's do a quick tour of these tools, right? And we'll pull in some wisdom from some incredible people who had to master them when everything was on the line. Okay, first up, intuition. Now, this isn't just a gut feeling. Think of it more as your mind's built-in early warning system. It's that little alarm bell that goes off in your head when the rules you've been playing by suddenly stop working. And Marie Curie just nails the difference here. Fear screams at you. It demands you do something right now. But real intuition, it's patient. It's a quiet signal that just invites you to slow down and pay closer attention, not to panic. Okay, next tool in the box, imagination. We usually think of this as daydreaming, right? As fantasy. But its primal function is way more practical. It's basically a powerful simulation engine inside your own head, letting you prepare for all kinds of possible futures, especially when you have zero data to work with. And this quote from Steve Jobs, it's just so spot on. There's a huge difference between escapist imagination, which is about pretending problems don't exist, and productive imagination. That's the kind that actually confronts the real-world constraints and figures out a way through them. It's not about avoiding reality. It's about creating a new one. Which, of course, brings us to judgment. This is the skill you need when you're between a rock and a hard place. When there are no good options, the information you have is incomplete, and the clock is ticking. It's the art of picking a path when you know every single one has risks. This gets right to the heart of what good judgment is. It's not about being a perfectionist. As someone like Washington understood, it's about choosing which mistake you can afford to make. It's about picking the error you can survive, learn from, and keep moving forward. So we have these powerful tools, but what ties them all together? There's one master skill that integrates everything, and it's the story that you tell yourself about who you are. This is the engine that drives real resilience, or what some people call anti-fragility. And I want you to really think about this for a second. People very rarely fail because they aren't intelligent or skilled enough. They fail because their internal story completely collapses. Either their past suddenly stops making sense, or their vision for the future narrows down to just one fragile, all-or-nothing path. And here's what that looks like in the real world, under the most extreme pressure imaginable. For these elite operators, a failure isn't personal. It's not a verdict that says, I am a failure. It's just new information. It's data. It doesn't trigger the question, what's wrong with me? Instead, it triggers the question, okay, what can I do next? Now that is a powerful story. And this leads us to the ultimate goal, anti-fragility. And the key word here is interpreting. This isn't just about being tough, gritting your teeth, and enduring a hit. No. It's about having a story that allows you to absorb that hit and actually use its energy to become stronger because of it. So, how do you actually build this? How do you do it? Well, it comes down to these 3 simple steps. First, you have to integrate your past. Make it all one coherent story, even the tough parts. Second, you have to pluralize your future. Open yourself up to many possible good outcomes, not just one fragile plan. And third, you have to reframe failure. See it as a plot twist, a transition, never the final verdict. And here it is, side by side. The difference couldn't be clearer, could it? A fragile story feels broken, fractured, and it funnels you toward one single breakable future. An anti-fragile story feels whole, integrated, and it opens up a wide landscape of possible futures. So what this all comes down to is a really profound shift in how we see the world and our place in it. We need to stop trying so hard to predict the future and instead focus on becoming the author of our own story within it. And you know what? This might be one of the single most important ideas for our time, because as AI gets better and better at calculation and prediction, our most valuable, uniquely human skill is authorship, the ability to create meaning, to craft a narrative, to tell a compelling story. At the end of the day, that's the real payoff here. Primal Intelligence isn't going to give you a crystal ball. It can't promise you certainty. But what it gives you back is something so much more powerful. It restores your agency, the ability to act, to choose, and to create your own path forward, no matter how uncertain the world gets. The author behind these ideas, Angus Fletcher, he puts it perfectly. He says, your plan is fragile. It's probably going to break the first time it meets reality. But a powerful, adaptive story, that can help you grow through literally anything. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Your plan for the future, whatever it is, it might fail. In fact, it probably will in some way. That's almost a given. But if you've built the right kind of story for yourself, can that ever truly fail?